tock, tick tock goes the cryptocurrency clock to $1 trillion. We are very close to $1 trillion market cap for crypto, and that isn't all. Oh, no, no, no. The SEC finds itself in a little bit more of a bind this morning because XRP community members are now suing them with a class action lawsuit. And then we got another little topic to talk about. It's XRP decoupling from Bitcoin. Let's roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you look here at the top of the screen here, you will see $883 billion plus for the cryptocurrency market cap. That's right. I want you to think about this for a second. There are exchanges that are now halting trading on the world's third largest crypto asset, which is slipping in rank because of that, I believe. And the reality is that with all of that happening and the Tether lawsuit at $1.4 trillion and all of these things really putting a damper on the market because we're so close to getting the clarity we need, we're still pushing forward in a very big way to $1 trillion market cap. Now, I believe this is interesting, and I believe a point to make here, J.C. Collins had pointed out, and shout out to him, Philosophy of Met, and basically what he talked about was the idea of a price correction at some point for Bitcoin. And when you do have that price correction, maybe it's in a timely manner that we get the clarity for XRP, and then we see a huge shift of that money as that price correction happens, or regulations that come in and put a little bit of a wet blanket on some of the things about Bitcoin that causes a price correction that over time, I believe it will recover from. But I do believe we're going to see some things that impact Bitcoin and the proof of work because it's been made so much of an issue by regulators around the world, as well as the mining control, 51% mining control in China. But let's go ahead and look at these things because I think overall, I believe we're headed to a healthy market. This money that we see here, this is not retail investor money. This is institutional money. Right? So it's exciting to me because whatever growing pains Bitcoin or XRP or the crypto space, generally speaking, has to go through, I think we come out the other side of this thing in the best way. Now, the Iron Sheik, if you remember him, asked a question, Bitcoin, real or Jabberoni? Well, let me tell you, does it matter? Because I've always said this, and I believe that this is so accurate right now to the point of what's going on here. You know, you factor in everything at what's going on, the pandemic, Bitcoin, use case, it really applies to life, right? If enough people out here in this world say it's nighttime and it's actually daytime, it won't matter that it's daytime. I believe greatly that's what we're seeing here. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have value because as long as enough people keep saying it's nighttime while it's daytime, it won't matter that it's daytime. And I believe that's what we're talking about here. And I also believe, with that being said, I'm not trying to backhand Bitcoin, but the reality is with the mining control and with the proof of work and the carbon emissions, I believe that those two things are going to really clip the wings of Bitcoin in the short term at some point. And I do believe it will recover. But when it does, I believe it will recover and it will be better for it as an investment instrument. Not financial advice, just my personal perspective. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin is currently screaming right now. I mean, just screaming the price. Over $34,000 right now. $34,194. And don't you love how that just swung about $100 or $200 in about 2 seconds right in front of our face? That was amazing. You got to have the stomach for it, no doubt about it. So look, here's what we do know. What we do know is, as we expected, this is from Bond Crypt, China's cryptocurrency mining dominance in danger. Crypto mining companies are leaving China. Nordic countries are where they're headed to take advantage of a plunge in electricity prices. Well, this spreading it out, I don't think is a bad thing. Again, I think the proof of work, the carbon emissions, and the overall 51% control out of China has got to be dealt with. And if I was look, me and Mrs. Backup hold a little bit of Bitcoin in our portfolio, but it's not going to change our life or make some massive impact in our life, and I wish I had a ton of it. But it doesn't stop me from understanding what the hurdles are that are still in front of it and the growth that Bitcoin needs to go through when it comes to meeting and dealing with these regulatory issues and concerns about the ultimate investment there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, Russia oil firm opens new Bitcoin mining farm running on gas energy. Ooh, we're going to keep an eye on that. And this is the expansion that you see people doing. They recognize that this is a new asset class, whether it's Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency. They're starting to get into the scene and make this either a part of their business model or a part of their investment portfolio. And to me, that's exciting because it forces, by the growth of the market, like I said, we're headed towards $1 trillion market cap. I feel it's a sure sign that we're going to work out these kinks and whatever needs to happen to smooth that out. So this becomes a solid investment going forward at some point here. Okay. Here it is. They talk about what do billionaires think about the Bitcoin striking 32,000. Well, they show Warren Buffett and Elon Musk and others that have said, they didn't think Bitcoin was a thing. Especially Warren Buffett has said it is rat poison squared. And I've gone through the article. We're not going to read it to you. But the reality is we have not seen the pullback that some of these people have said we would see by now. It doesn't mean it's not coming. It's like I've laid out the map, I laid out the case already for that. So here's something that is really going to be pivotal going forward for governments and countries. Venezuela's government is planning to move to a fully digital economy as hyperinflation has destroyed its national currency. I don't think this is the last you're seeing of this. In fact, I think this is the beginning and it's the trend of where everything is going. Right? So kudos to Venezuela. I mean, the people have just been decimated there with the collapse of their cash. So this is from Representative Darren Soto, seeks to create office to coordinate federal use of blockchain tech. And I just want to say, shout out to Darren Soto and Warren Davidson and Tom Emmer, and I know I'm missing some others, but so many others that have been an advocate for cryptocurrency and getting the proper regulation and legislation in place. These people have worked tirelessly, and I want to make sure that we all celebrate them so they recognize that we absolutely appreciate all of their efforts and we do not want it to go away. And in fact, I want to offer this moment here to Representative Soto that anything I can do to help make the voice and the cry louder for us to get the things that we need to resolve the issues regulatory wise and legislative wise in this space, I am at your disposal. I will also tag you on this video on Twitter and see if we can come together and get some kind of conversation and bring as many people to the calls as we can to help strengthen your argument in Congress. Now, looking at the price of Bitcoin and then looking at the price of XRP, we're at 22 cents and we've been holding strong. And in fact, I want to go back just quickly just to this. 22 cents is where we are this morning. But look at this right here. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Look at Tether. We know where Tether is anyway, but look at Litecoin. Look at Polkadot. Look at everything. But look at XRP. If that's not a decoupling, I don't know what is. We are not pacing Bitcoin at this point. And I think that means there's an opportunity for some very, very new things to take place if you could make that case for a lot of regulators that, look at the chart doesn't lie. The chart's telling you what's going on. XRP is running its own game and Bitcoin's not moving the needle. And that to me is a very, very exciting thing. Now, going here and just reaffirming to everybody that Grayscale says, I don't care what's going on. They reached $20 billion worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP and other cryptocurrencies. Shout out to Barry Silbert, who has just been collecting crypto like a madman, regardless of all the impending things that we've seen from the SEC and the regulatory agencies, respectively, in the United States. What do you think he knows? Does that look like someone who's scared? Oh, no. He's not scared. He's excited. And you know what? It's not financial advice, but it's just what I've been doing. And I've been stacking my pennies next to his dollars. Don't believe it. It's still true. And right here we have this. And now this is another exciting moment, I think, here. How about this? BondCrypt says the New York Department of Financial Services has approved the first Japanese yen pegged stablecoin in the U.S. market. Ooh. Wow. How about that? Now that tells me we got big things coming. And they're all going to be very exciting. I love this. I absolutely love seeing this. So we're going to keep an eye on what goes on with that and more. And I expect to see more stable coins from other major countries around the world as well. Now, this is interesting. This comes from Michael Val 5 Links. The petition calls into question SEC fiduciary duties and alleges that the agency harmed investors' interests by declaring XRP a security 7 years after its initial distribution. No doubt about that. And this is John E. Deaton. Shout out to him because he is a part of this. He says, I am tired of our government officials not giving a crap about the damage they do to people's lives and livelihood. Time to fight back. Welcome to 2021. John, I'm looking to do anything I can to celebrate your efforts, my friend. And I want to make sure, I can't even believe I'm not following. I'm following you now, buddy. And anything I can do to just help bring a bigger voice to what you guys are doing. This is the lawsuit, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but you know the deal. It lays out the case that the SEC, and under Jay Clayton's fiduciary duty to enforce the SEC mission statement, he didn't. He allowed this to go on for 7 years, hurting us as investors because we believe in XRP, but what he has done has damaged us as holders. And that is because of their lack of duty, their dereliction of duty, no doubt about it. And I am pulling for you. We will keep an eye on everything that happens with that. And let's see, that's the same thing there. But here's the other thing I wanted to point out. Kraken has now gotten a U.S. banking charter license, right? They have a banking license. And if I'm not mistaken, they have a securities license too, if I'm not mistaken. I do know that they had bought crypto facilities out of London a few years ago, and I know that they deal with securities products like XRP futures and things of that nature too. So as far as I know, I believe if they're still selling those XRP futures for crypto facilities that Kraken purchased, that company, as far as I know, they're the only XRP futures that I know of that actually have a term on them that I'm aware of. Everything else that I know of is perpetual. Okay, so with that being said, what does Kraken know? We haven't heard one peep out of them about whether they will, whether they won't. We're getting rid of it. We're halting it. We're delisting. You haven't heard a word from them. And to me, that is like a huge positive sign. Now, I don't normally deal with the Kraken exchange, but I can tell you right now, later today or sometime early next week, I will be opening up an account to celebrate any exchange I can find here in the U.S. that is not backing down because of the lack of due diligence and dereliction of duty that the SEC and Jay Clayton has exhibited there. All right, now let's see here. This is a clip I want to show you because they're going to talk about specifically the EU, and this is an International Monetary Fund conversation, and this may have been when Christine Lagarde was the managing director there. I'm not sure if that was during her time at the IMF or if this was from her being at the ECB where she is now, and this is just an IMF conference. So I'm not sure of the time of this, but the topic of this is about EU if it had a Hamilton-like moment or a safe haven asset that the EU could rely on that would provide them deep levels of liquidity. Let me just play this for you so you can hear him say it. Now listen to this.
Went down quite significantly with the global financial crisis by about 5 percentage points. So it's a very good question. Why? And I think you have to go back to 3 fundamental attributes of reserve currencies. You need the reserve capacity, the fiscal capacity of their issuers to back a significant issuance of safe assets. You need like liquid and deep financial markets, and you need a lender of last resort with a substantial reach. And
a lender of last resort with substantial reach. Now, I just can't help but think in my mind of Ripple being a central bank acting as a lender of last resort with substantial reach from the customers and clients and partner network that they have built over the last 7 years or so. And and they have a brand new form of money that if everyone were to join that network, the RippleNet network, use ODL, synchronize the ledger, bring the level of utility and volume to the ledger in a synchronized event, you could then have that deep level of liquidity that he's talking about. Now, I'm reaching, but I just think it's a matter to point out. Listen.
It's, I think, important to realize that Europe, despite having gone a long way and despite being 25 years into the experiment, it still has a long way to go. It's still work in progress. If you compare it to the United States, the process of unification, it's still in its infancy, and we're not sure exactly where it's going to go, actually. So if you look at the fiscal union in Europe, it's basically non-existent compared to the American fiscal union. The banking union is only starting to emerge. If you look at sovereign debt markets, they're very fragmented along national lines. And the lack of a European safe asset is sort of a manifestation of this lack of maturity to some extent. So
do you think that would be a game changer?
I think it could be, because that would be a bit, it would be a bit of a Hamilton moment for Europe. And it would be a way for Europe to have some mutualization, but also to create a much bigger asset, which could be more liquid, could be deeper, and you could tap into sort of like scale economies, network economies, and make it an asset that could really compete maybe with treasuries.
He sounds like he's talking about introducing a central bank and a new central bank money that would be tied to the entire euro, and then you could create this deeper pool of liquidity that they could pull on the way they look to, like the way the U.S. is doing their business, like basically with the Fed, right? In the Fed system. Pretty interesting conversation right there. Keep listening.
For reserves.
Okay.
Quote the late MIT economist Rudiger Dornbusch, who said that in economics, things take longer to happen than you think they will, but they happen a lot faster than you thought they could.
Things take longer than you think they will, but they happen a lot faster than you thought they could. And I think that's a perfect place to wrap this, because that's where I believe we are on this day when it comes to regulation and cryptocurrency. Now, just for fun, and this is just for fun, I have to wish everyone a happy 2021 as we move into a new year. And as we do move into a new year, believe me when I say, I hope that everyone has the strength of this stool and the courage of this dog as we move into 2021. And that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. I'll catch all of you on the next one.